User Interface Tour. In this video, we'll take a look at the different sections of the service and the interface controls in each one. Let's start out by reviewing the common interface buttons and information that you will see from every screen. On the top right, you'll see the name of the user who is logged in. Click on the username to bring up a menu to switch accounts, preview new features, or sign out. The left sidebar has tabs for each section, so you can easily jump back to the home screen, search for files or cases, edit your uploaded video clips, view the recycle bin, or go to the configurations page. On the bottom of the sidebar is the Help button, which will bring up a menu where you can get more information about the service, bring up the online user guide, contact support, and view the privacy policy and terms of service. When you first log in, you will start at the home page. From here, you can search for a case or file based on the name, description, tags, or other criteria. You can also see any recent cases you have updated in the activities list and create a new case from this section. Beside the activities is a section displaying the most recent news, and the lower part of the home page has links to some helpful videos to learn more about the different parts of the service. From the search section, you can enter keywords on the top of the page, view a map to see any cases or files associated with a geographic location or address, or use the search tools to refine your list of results. Clicking on the search criteria, you can choose if you want to view cases, files, or both, and can filter the results based on the category, time frame, case status, case association, file association, and device assignment. The category field lists all the categories you have created, and multiple ones can be selected. For the date and time field, you can choose cases or files from any time, within a set number of days, weeks, months, or years, or where the start date and time of the case or file fall within a specific period. You can also change the search to filter based on the created or upload date and time. By default, the search fields are set to look for both cases and files, all categories, where the case status is open, and the date and time stamp can be from any time. No filtering is done based on the associations or device assignment. You do not need to rerun your search when you change the search criteria filters. The results are immediately applied to the list of results below. Click on a list entry from the search results to view that case or file. You can also create a new case from this screen or export the list of results you are currently viewing. Once you click on a case to edit it or create a new case from here, there are a few other controls and information sections to consider. On the top is our case name and our buttons to subscribe for updates to the case, close the case, or view the case menu. From the menu, we can select the audit trail to see who has made any changes to the case recently, make a copy of the case, create a case report, or delete the case from the service. Below that, there's the General Case Information section. This is where you can find the owner, record and incident numbers, the status of the case, the category, and the department the case belongs to. You can also see the start and end date and time for the duration of the case, a description of the case, and any tags that can be used for searching purposes. The location is either based on geographic coordinates or can be an address. The map icon on the right of the location can be used to search and find a location on a map. In the map controls, use the search box on top or click and drag on the map to move it, using the plus and minus on the lower corner to zoom in and out. Below the location is where you can see the last time the case was modified and by who. Put a check in the Protect from Deletion box to keep the case from accidentally being erased. The right side of the case has our list of users who can view, edit, or manage the case. Use the drop-down menu to change the permission level for a user, or click on the X next to their name to remove them. Use the plus to add more users to the case. This section is showing the user permissions by default, but if we want to invite guests to add video files to the case, we can do that in the File Request tab. Below that, you have the files list for any data that has been associated with this case. Click on the plus to add more files, or drag them into the Files box. You can also select existing files that are on the service, or create folders for better file organization. Click on the menu button next to the file name for options to view the file details, download the file, move the file into a folder, redact the clip if it's a video file, rename the file, or remove it from the case. You can also select multiple files by checking the box in the top left corner of the thumbnail or the box next to the file in the list, and use the Group Move, Download, or Remove File buttons below the list. Clicking on a thumbnail or list entry will show a preview of the video or image file and give you other options to view the file details, download the file, or create a redacted video in the video editor. Choosing to view file details from the preview window or selecting a file from the search section will bring up the file information. On the top of the screen, the file name is presented, which can be edited from here. On the other side of the file name, there are the buttons to download the file to local storage or view a menu with other options. From the menu, we can see the audit trail for that file, which shows if anyone has viewed or performed any actions on the file, and delete the file from the service. If this is a video file, there will also be a button to open the file in the video editor to redact the video. Some files can be read by the service, and if so, you'll be presented with a preview window below the file name. If you cannot preview a file from here, you can download the file and try from your local machine. If the file has the location set, you'll see a picture-in-picture window of the map, which you can click on to toggle between the preview image or video and the map. Some body-worn cameras and other devices collect GPS data and associate it with the video file. The GPS path and current location marker are visible on the map. The file information is listed below the preview, including the file name, file size if available, who uploaded the file, and when it was uploaded. In the General section, you can see the description that was added when the file was uploaded, the start and end date and time of the file, the associated category, any cases the file has been linked to, and tags, which are keywords that can be used for searching. Below that, you can set the location, either as geographic coordinates, an address, or a spot that can be chosen on a map. Files can be automatically deleted when they're no longer needed, and the scheduled deletion date is included on the bottom of the list, as well as a checkbox to protect the file from being deleted. Finally, on the top right, you can see the users who have permission to access the file. This can be inherited from the case it was assigned to, or overridden for manual control. User permissions can be set to View Only, View and Download, Edit, or Manage Files. From the Recycle Bin section, we can see any files or cases that have been deleted. We can use the search criteria to limit the list of results to cases or files, the date it was deleted, and who deleted the case or file. We can search for a particular case or file using the search box above as well. From the list below, we can click on the Restore button to place the case or file back in the active list and keep it from being purged from the service. Let's move on to take a general look at the parts of the Configuration section. You can switch between any of the sections using the header names in the submenu that is shown to the left next to the main menu. Starting with the User section, on top of the page you can search for a user using their name, ID, or email address. Next to the search field, you can filter if you want to see active users, inactive users, or both. You can create a new user by clicking on the Create User button on the right. Adding or editing an entity from the User section will prompt you for all the fields required, such as the username, status, or the groups the user will belong to. Any field that can accept multiple entries will have a plus icon next to it. Click on it to add more items to the list, or click on the X next to a list item to remove it. You can save or cancel creating or editing an entity, and the user's passwords can be reset from this page. The next subsection in the Configuration section is for user groups. You can search for a group by name on top, create a new group using the button on the right, or click on a group to edit it. Editing a group allows you to add or remove members from the group and modify the privileges given to users of that group. The Integration subsection is where you can configure any connections from the service to another system, like a Genetec Security Center server or a body-worn camera. Just click on an integration in the existing integrations to edit it, or click on a new integration in the Create an Integration section to set it up and add it to the existing ones. Looking at the Departments section, you can add a department by clicking on the Create Department button on the top right side of the page. We also have a search field, but since there's only one entity type being shown here, there are no search filters that can be applied. From the Department Creation page, click on the pencil icon next to the name to modify it, and click on the plus icon below to add access policies for new cases for the department you are creating. Use the Save button on the bottom right to keep the department, or hit Cancel to go back to the department list. From the list of existing departments, click on one to modify it, which will display the existing information much like the Department Creation page. Under the Categories section, we also have a search field for keywords, but without any filters. Click on the Create Category button to add a new category, where you can click on the pencil icon to rename it, and you can choose the status of the category, either enabled or disabled. You can also set the retention period for any files listed in this category. This can be represented in days or years, and can also be set to never delete the files. You can modify an existing category by clicking on it in the list, which will present you with the same information. The Devices tab can be used to keep track of any body-worn cameras or other hardware associated with the service. You can use the search field or the search criteria to narrow down the list in case you have many results. On the right, you can see how many device licenses you have and how many devices have been activated on the service so far. Click on a device to see more details, and you can assign the device to a user from this page and activate or deactivate the device. Let's take a look at the Security Policy section next. From this section, we have different functions that can be done with the service, and can add users or groups to these sections to give them permission to perform these functions. Click on the plus icon next to the function name to add a user or group, and click on the X next to a user or group to remove access to this function. For files not associated with cases, we must also choose the permission level to give the users or groups we add to this section. The Retention Policy section lets you define the default retention period for cases and files in the recycle bin, and also set specific retention values depending on how the file was added to the service or the category the file is in. If a file is affected by multiple retention periods, the longest time range will be used. If you want to put a watermark on your video in the system, have terms and conditions included with your case file requests, or have guests accept terms and conditions as well, you can set all that up in the Account Information section. You'll need to set up the information for your account first, like a recognizable name, contact email address, and account logo. You can also include an address here if you want. In the service, you can set up Ediscovery receipts, which are proof that evidence has been shared between two parties. From the Report Templates section, you can set up the text to be included in the receipt. It will also use some information from the Account Information section. When requesting video from a camera that has been configured outside of the service, you may want to know more information about the person requesting the video. This can be set up in the Request Forms section. Multiple forms can be created that have customizable fields, but only one form can be active at a time.